Of all the times to suddenly get worse about book buying again, shortly before moving's not a great one. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be doing a book haul, not a huge one, but I feel like I have gotten a lot worse. I'd been doing so good for the last year and a half or so, especially with just buying very few books. Partially it's been because I've been specifically looking for some series or some stuff, and partially it's just, I had been trying out some different bookstores, getting just a thing here or there, but then was still getting to some that I hadn't been. And I think maybe the moving part is just because I'm going to be moving away from most all of the bookstores that I have around now and have a lot less available. So maybe part of me is just like trying to shop all I can for them. But I have some books. It's definitely enough for a book haul. I may or may not have more coming, but we'll talk about these and the other a nemesis rearing its head that's maybe made this a little bit the worse as well here too. But first, we'll talk about some mass market paperbacks that I picked up. So first off, we have Brothers in Arms, which is continuing my Vorkosigan collection. Now, this is clearly not in the best shape, and weirdly enough, they had this one. They were asking like, I don't know, like $7 or $5 or something like that. I'm just like, felt steep for a mass market paperback anyway, especially this. And so I ended up, I mean, like, hey, can you like knock it way down? And so I ended up getting it for like $2. I definitely will be on the lookout for a better copy condition, but I'm trying to collect all the Warkosigan books. Spoiler alert, there'll be some more of those. So that worked, but that was a different bookstore that I hadn't been before. And I have a couple more in the stack later we'll talk about where I just feel like I got so lucky with what I ended up finding. And then another one I've had actually for, I don't actually remember where I even specifically got this from, but something I just came across too at another little used bookstore. Um, oh, I remember where it was now. So there's something else coming from this one too. Another one I had just tried randomly where they only had like used books miscellaneous, and I got this for like 10 cents or something. And I have a different copy that's the hardcover bind ups of this, but this is just an old uh, the paperback version that I thought looked pretty cool. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. I'll grab that because sometimes I like getting stuff like that for my collection. And then I did recently go to Half Price Books and get a few mass market paperbacks, including Ganda, which was one of the only books I still need. I'm gonna have to recheck my list, but I have nearly all of them now. That was one of the big standouts that I did still need. And then I also grabbed The Blue Sword by Robin McKinley because this is one that's been on my list a long time. And this is a way cooler cover than the copy that I almost got on Book Outlet about 1,000,000 times, more on Book Outlet anyway. And so this looks pretty nifty. I don't really know anything about this one. It's just one of those authors that I've heard about, but I've never actually read. So we'll want to try and get to that at some point here. And then I grabbed Fool's Company by Robert Asprin, which is sort of a satirical or funny sci-fi type of thing. I know I don't. It's really all I know about it, which I feel like you can tell just looking at the cover if my camera would ever focus. But so a fun one. Somebody recommended this to me years ago. I don't remember who. I don't remember anything else. It's just supposed to be kind of funny. So it's one I might try when I'm just looking for something totally different and a change of pace. Apparently, we're just going to go in order of size and format because that's how I stacked these. But next up, we have Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And I'm curious. I don't know how I'm actually going to feel about this, but I've just been curious to read this one. This is kind of one of those things that's been on my list for a long time. And this was also at that random used bookstore. And I also got this for like, I don't know, really, really cheap. So it was like, you know what? That's a pretty good time. They had some big sale going on with heavily discounted stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'll grab it. Worst case, if I don't like it, it was really, really cheap. So that generally work pretty well. And then we have the first couple of things that I've gotten from a couple of different. I've done at least two recently, but I think actually the other one's still coming. So maybe it's just been the one in this one. But I did another Book Outlet order. Book Outlet has been getting me lately because there was a specific book I wanted that they ended up getting in stock, and then also I keep seeing ads and they're advertising like kids books, and so I'm like, oh, I can get some books for my daughter, and then I'm on there, and naturally I got to get a few for myself for free shipping. So they've been getting me, but I got a book I didn't expect to get, but I'm happy with, and that is Blood in the Mist by Hope Mirrlees. Now this is a very nice version. I read a really old beat up version from the library when I read this, And I talked about how I was not the biggest fan of the book. It's not something I necessarily thought that I would reread. I was glad to have experienced it. I ended up getting this though because the person who recommended the book was Rabin from Only the Best Fantasy Novels, and I picked it up from his recommendation. And then I recently saw another video of him just talking about how much he loved it and how special the book is. And I was thinking about the book, and I read the library version I had out loud, pretty much the entire thing to my daughter over like multiple weeks when she was a newborn, and still let me read my books to her. And just, was practicing funny voices. And so I'm like, you know what? It just kind of brought back those good memories and how interesting of an experience it was. So I picked it up. It's a nice copy. It was pretty cheap, and I'll have that in my collection now as well. Speaking of Rabin, I also grabbed Ka, which is by John Crowley. Or Crowley. I don't actually know. Maybe I'm saying crow because the bird. But anyway, this one is one I never had any interest in reading. I think it's about a crow as the main character, and it's that POV. And I don't know, nothing about it ever sounded appealing to me. But again, I heard Rabin talk about it, and it's one he recommended as just being super different, super good. And I've enjoyed uh, everything I've read from him that I recommended. I've at least had a really good experience with it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna grab it, pick it up. So I don't know a ton about that one either, but it's a fun one. And then I have one that was sent to me, which is War of the Four: The Twin Schism by DJ Dempsey. This author sent me this book as well with a letter, and this looks kind of chunky, but it's not too terribly bad. I don't know a ton about this one. We have Sun, Sea, Sky, Stone, four tales fated for war. 741 turns of the solar season ago, a fragment of a celestial star descended upon the plain, or so the story was told. From its crater emerged a storm so devastating that only the bravest of knights, Rondor the Royal, dared venture to its source. What he discovered changed the plain forever. So, it's kind of the first part of the blurb here. I can't remember if I filmed a short about this. I've been really bad about editing shorts, but I usually do those for book mail. So it's possible. But yeah, he put in a bunch more information about this as well here too. Just a lot of details. It follows the rise to power journeys of two primary protagonists whose paths and beliefs are destined to collide. So there's different stories that follow sun, sea, sky, and stone, which I feel like makes sense from here, the picture and the blurb here as well. And so apparently this is going to be a trilogy, and there's going to be 5 characters with some rotating chapters with sun, sea, sky, and stone. Okay. And so there's some of that going on as well. So don't know a ton about this one. This one was one that was sent to me, so I'll be curious once I get around to trying that one as well. Then, in related, I meant to film a short for book mail but never did. I also have some other book mail here, which is nicely wrapped. It was very nice and snug in the box as well, which I will pop open here quick now. Always the nice touch with the little stuff like that. And we have, if I can get it off, False Idol, with another cool cover here. And this is book 3 in the Projectionist series by Tobias Youngblood. The first 2 books have been really interesting, and Tobias is a fun guy too. And I've gotten to interact with him and chat more about it. But this is just a wild series that's kind of like a neo-noir urban fantasy mix of all kinds of elements. And I enjoyed the first 2. I'm really curious to see where this third one goes as well. So this is, it's just book 2 set up a lot of stuff, and so I'm curious to see where that's going to go here in book 3. And then I also had, and this is one somebody reached out to me quite a while ago, and then ended up just reaching out again. It's funny because we both, like, took a couple of months to respond, and he took a couple of months to respond, and like we did this for quite a while. So ultimately we have Miscantania, volume 1. It says every collection mirrors its collector. And this is supposed to be, I think, something sort of different and involve puzzles. So it says, James, your average American, was having another bad day until he's pulled into the bizarre world of Miscantania, and James finds himself trapped in a land where nothing makes sense and everything wants to kill him. He has to survive and make allies. James must fight through demons, uncanny jellyfish, and a cult that worships chaos itself. And I remember this one just from the description. I have no idea what to make of this, if this is going to end up being something I like or not. But because it was really short, I'm like, you know what, why not? And it's kind of what I told the author. And this author did send a letter also, uh, which includes 2 puzzles, so that he challenged either me or the audience. Oh, I don't think that's actually going to focus. Um, Maybe I'll pull up a picture and post, and I'll post these and put them up for a second. If you want to try and solve these puzzles, one's supposed to be easier, one's supposed to be harder. So I don't know about that, but that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know, you give a little fun, memorable thing like that. So it's fun when authors do a little bit of the little extra stuff. Like I said, cool wrapping, little fun things, letters. So yeah, some really cool book mail. I'm excited to get to all of those. And then last we have our hardcovers, which are a mix of Book Outlet at another bookstore. But first we have The Memory of the Ogisi by Moses Ose Utomi. And I've already talked about this and did a this is the one that got me to do another Book Outlet order, because I saw it pop up and I'm like, I really do want to get this book. And it's novellas like this are so expensive to get on their own sometimes. But this is a series that I really enjoyed. Funnily enough, this is the the third mentioned thing here. Rabin from Only the Best Fantasy Novels, because he originally recommended the first book. So again, go check out his channel. I just he's kind of become somebody who I just, whenever he's really talks about a book, I get so curious. I want to try a bunch of them, and he reads just really cool stuff. So anyway, this was a trilogy of novellas that I quite enjoyed, that kind of had some like African folk tale, some parable stuff, but then just some really cool storytelling in there as well. So I wanted to get a copy of that. I then got, because I don't know what happened to my copy. I had a copy, don't know what happened. Got a new copy of The Keeper 6 by Kate Elliott, because I was getting all my Kate Elliott books when I had her on the channel the first time, and I couldn't find this one. And I'm like, I remember I read this. I had a copy, don't know what happened. So I ended up getting another copy of The Keeper 6 as well, which was another just super interesting and unique novella from Kate Elliott that had kind of a sci-fi feel with a lot of the still the fantasy type of elements. And then I grabbed, which this is the one that's probably not necessary, but I grabbed The Songbird and The Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1 of a different series from her, and I see it around all of the time. And so I just decided to grab this first book because I liked the first book of her other series, and I'm interested to try her because she's one of those authors who does kind of write romantasy, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. And while I'm never going to really jump full bore into that type of area, I try to be open to new things, and I really liked Daughter of No Worlds, and I'm planning to continue that series, so I grabbed that one pretty cheap as well. And then we have the really lucky finds at the bookstore where I got that really bad condition Rokosigan book. I also got a couple of really good condition ones, which include Mirror Dance and Gentleman Joel and the Red Queen. So these two were like $8 and $6. So again, like that horrible condition mass market was actually listed as more of these. These are in great condition, hardcovers, really great condition. I cannot believe how lucky I've been tracking down copies, just finding them physically. I have, to this point, I've not ordered any Rokosigan books online. These have all been things I found in physical bookstores surrounding me. I got lucky and found a bunch at half-price books at the same time. But then I've just found bits and pieces here and there, and yeah, I've been snagging them because this is definitely a series I would be reading the whole thing of, and I can't wait to get to. So if you haven't started Rokosigan, give it a shot. Start with Shards of Honor. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the series and hoping I will be continuing very soon, because I'm filming this toward the end of February, and I will be continuing in March. So super excited. So that's a good one too. And then we have a couple of Book Outlet ones, which again, these are, this is where I'm starting to fall in the trap of, did I really need these books from Book Outlet? But this is honestly really cool looking. This is the Classic Fantasy Collection. It's got a dragon. I'm not even the biggest Sprayed Edges fan, but this is just kind of a cool looking book. And this is like a big collection of like old school, like Robert E. Howard, H.G. Wells, H.P. Lovecraft, like that kind of stuff. And because it's one of these collection books, I'm sure there's a bunch of miscellaneous nonsense nobody wants either, because usually they fill out with that kind of stuff. So there's definitely stuff I've never heard of in here, like a fair bit of it. But I just was kind of curious, and it's a cool looking book. So if nothing else, I think this is going to look kind of nifty on the shelf. And so I'm just like, screw it. I'll grab it and do that. And then I got, because I am legitimately curious about this author, and I know this is supposed to be a good one, Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, again, because this is a pretty cool looking book. I feel like that's going to look nice on the shelf. And I know this is a pretty popular one. I had way back before I'd even heard of this author. A trilogy, I can't remember, the Baroque cycle, I think, and they were massive, and I just never got to them. I ended up unhauling them because I just never seemed to get to them at all, and just I needed to make space. So I'm gonna maybe try with just this one and see if I read it and like it, want to try more of the author, and we'll go from there. But I know that that one's supposed to be a really good one. So I'm curious, and it's an author that I really have wanted to try for a while, and it's cool looking. So that was all the excuse that I needed. But there you have it. There are the all of the books that I bought since I last filmed a book haul video. I do have a couple more, which I'll spoil briefly. I'll still show them off eventually in the video, but I did get a couple more of the Conan hardcover collections and a couple more Vlad Taltos novels as well, because they had them on Book Outlet. And again, I was buying books for my daughter. That's my excuse. We're not going to talk about whose books cost more, but you know, had to get that free shipping, of course, naturally. So there'll be a few more coming, but I really should be slowing down because yeah, I'm going to be moving soon and can't keep buying a ton of books. I've already started packing some up too, though, so it makes it feel like I have room for more, even though I really don't. So we'll see. But that's it for this one. So let me know your thoughts on any of the stuff here, or if you have any notable stuff that you've gotten recently as well. Would love to hear from you in the comments. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description as always for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wisdom of the Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.